Can you explain the differences between the Cadet Candidate Evaluation Board and the Admissions Committee, and who serves on both?
Sure. The Cadet Candidate Evaluation Board, commonly referred to as CCEB, it's a board that's been in place for a long time. I remember being on that board when I was a comptroller here from 2000 to 2004. The process has changed a little bit, not a lot, but those are our first eyes on the application. So the Cadet Candidate Evaluation Board is today, as we look at it, is about 50 members of the faculty and staff at the Coast Guard Academy. They're both civilian and military. We have folks from every single input on the academic side, the military side, permanent teaching staff, and on the staff. On the faculty side, it's about 65% of this board. And then on the staff side, it's about just the opposite, the difference, 35%. So it's got a strong academic focus to it, both military and civilian, professorial, if you will, toward the academic talent. But it's also got a combination of, we've got coaches on it, we've got members from the LDC, but it spans the whole academy spectrum to make this 50-person board. Now, it's a two-person review that starts the process. Every one of our, if everything continues as we've done in the past, let's say that this year we have 2,000 completed applications again. Every single one of those 2,000 applications will be reviewed. And they'll get a two-person review, and they'll start with one member of the CCB, and we can actually do this, which is a little different than we did in the past, with two people reviewing the file at the same time. In the old days, there used to be a bag. All right, there was a bag, it was highly confidential, had paper files inside of it, but in the last 2 years, we've become fully automated. So reviewers can go online 24/7. They can review the file. They can make their recommendations. After the applicant gets through the two-person review, if they're recommended for appointment consideration, then they advance to admissions committee. When they get to admissions committee, there is a 5-person panel. I'm the president of the board, and then there are members, senior members of the admissions staff that are on the panel, and the file is personally presented by the admissions officer. Again, that's a new change that we made in the last couple of years. The admissions officer brings the file to the table. The admissions officer knows the candidate the best. The applicant goes to the admissions officer for questions. The applicant meets with the admissions officer, maybe by interview, maybe while they're doing a visit out in their regional territory, but that's their go-to person. So it's good. Good advice for those out there to know that the admissions officer is the key point of contact in the process. So they'll bring it to the table, they'll present it. It's a 5-person panel that will look at the file, and if they get the head nod, potential appointment. If not, a couple of things can happen. It's possible that the applicant can be rejected. It's possible that the applicant can be looked at for some other things that we might look at them for. Prep school. We might have a strong applicant that was recommended by the CCB that maybe is not strong enough based on what we're seeing in the pool to be competitive for a full appointment or a direct appointment. So we might look at them at another committee for prep school. We have 2 prep schools. One's at Georgia Military College, down in Georgia, of course, and then the other one's at Marion Military Institute in Alabama. So the other option is we can put them on a wait list. We maintain a list of about 100 applicants throughout the process so that depending on where we're at in the cycle and the needs as we shape the next class, trying to get the right combination of academics, athletics, and all these other extracurricular activities and leadership type things that we're looking for, we will hold a list of about 100 applicants to be considered and reviewed later in the process.
Okay.
And as we see the need for that, we'll hold what we call an alternate board. We'll go back and look at somebody who's already been considered before, strong candidate, and if that's what we need at that point in time as we go forward, we can bring somebody on board with a direct appointment.
So is a personal interview required with an admissions officer, or it certainly behooves a potential candidate, or at least to get on a phone interview? If you could just touch on that just a little bit more.
Yeah, the interview is optional. It's not a required thing. While we would love to have interviews on every single applicant, frankly, we really don't have the resources to do that, at least with our immediate team. We do have partners that are throughout the country,
okay.
And we rely on them, and they're very helpful in facilitating a lot of things. The partners are involved in the interview process. They go to congressional events. They do outreach at high schools. They're at college fairs. But interviews are one of the things that an applicant can request, and then we can honor that. And it gives you a lot of great information. We're thankful for that extra information when we can put it in the file.